Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another game of PUBG. So I don't think I'll be saying, but we had a really good game and I wanted to show it off. This is myself, Smeggin and Cyberjedi. Same team that we had last time, minus one of us, so just three of us in a four-person squad game, but that's okay. I still think we do pretty well regardless. And just about halfway down maybe a little bit further down the jump path, we decided to jump off. And I believe we head for Hosan. Now, Hosan is interesting because it's quite a busy area. It's a very large village. We're heading for those kind of four buildings just in front of me at the moment. And it can be a pretty busy area, all things considered. It looks like we're fairly alone, which is always useful. And the nice thing about these buildings here is they're slightly separated from the main bits of Hosan, and they also provide a little bit of coverage because they've got some height to the buildings and they're also on a slight hill. So they do provide a bit of potential high ground coverage should the need arise. And you can hear glass breaking as my friends go into other buildings, and also there's four buildings, so normally it's great if you're in a 3 or 4 man because everyone has a building they can go loot. And there's normally enough stuff in there to get people started. Now, actually, we had just won the previous game, so we were feeling pretty good about ourselves. We were like, yeah, we've won a game. And we'd actually headed to the exact same place last time in Hosan, these four buildings. So we thought we could try the same again, see how that goes, and see if that went well or not. So initially, just here while we're looting, we're just trying to obviously get our kind of at least level 2 gear. Really is what I need, and I'm trying to find myself a good 2 guns. I got myself an SKS, I believe, as my kind of long range sniper rifle or DMR, but I still need to find myself a better gun as my main. And I think there's first of all there's a pan there, but I think I find a barrel on Ace-32, which are two of my favourite ARs, which I end up taking. I usually take an AUG and an Ace-32, or sometimes a barrel 7.62. Those are my kind of 3 preferred assault rifles. Of course, sometimes I have to take other ones, but those are the ones I prefer if I can find them. And Stroganoff, I think I might already have. I think I already have my AR in this one. I can't remember exactly what I picked up, but I think it was an Ace-32 or something similar. But I picked up a Dragunov, which is a nice Russian DMR. Although I don't think I've got a scope for it just yet, but I picked one up there, I believe. Or I probably already have one. To be honest, I'm still a little bit under the weather, and so I can't quite remember exactly what happened. But at this point, I've pretty much looted everything in that building. So I pull over to the 4th building, the one that none of us have been to yet, and I believe my friends have come with me here. I'd be stupid and take the window instead of taking the door like a normal human being, but it gets me in there quickly. And also it means that if someone's coming and looking, they don't necessarily see doors open. So that's sometimes actually something I prefer if I know we're relatively safe and alone. Get myself an extended mag there, just give me a few extra bullets in my gun there. It's always very useful to have that few extra bullets. You never know when you might need that extra few bullets in the gun, and it might make all the difference. I believe at some point soon we are actually engaged in Hosan, because I think another team comes and attacks us. I'm not sure why the entire map is showing us blue, to be honest, but that's okay. But we are actually... Oh, here we go. We're starting some fire. But we are just about in the zone here, which is quite good. And I'm just finishing off looting up here, but then because Cyberjedi is taking shots, I then go down to support as I believe that. Yeah, you got the number 5 team here. Although I do seem to stay up here a bit longer than I I thought I did. But pretty soon we're going to re-engage that team, I believe. No, we don't. I'm looking completely the wrong place. So we have Hosan to ourselves, which is excellent. We're not in the blue zone, okay. But we're not too far away. It's something that we can run to or drive to with relative ease. The only other team nearby is the number 5 team. They're not too. The good thing is they're not too close to us at the moment. So we have the run of Hosan to ourselves, which is actually pretty excellent, all things considered, to allow us to keep pushing and looting. And so we get ourselves pretty set up before we had to take any engagements, which is really rather good. So we just keep on looting here for the time being. It's quite a slow start to the engagement for sure, or quite a slow start to the game for sure, but it does pick up. I just have a quick look to see the car. Again, it's quite interesting watching this back and seeing what on earth I was doing. I do take a scope there for my gun. I think I did see a 2x scope before, but it's not 2x scope I don't find to be particularly useful unless you're on the very, very small maps, which this isn't. But yeah, I'm looking for extended mags, a couple more bits of medical supplies, although not so much bandages, as I don't really have space for much more. As bandages I only find useful when I'm not being shot at. If I'm being shot at, first aid kit's obviously a lot more important, or medkits if I can find them, hence I try to pick that one up there. But I see if Smeggin wants one in the meantime. But he says he's low on space as well, so I end up dropping a bit of... I think I dropped some ammo here to pick it up. Because having a med kit, a full heal in emergency can be pretty important, I find. Can give us you can give you the extra health during an emergency. And you can see me deliberating here for a while as to what to drop, and I just don't have enough space in my jammer pack to pick it up. Incidentally, the jammer packs I think are a new addition since I last played about 3 years ago, and they're really useful because the jammer packs are essentially a level 2 backpack, but they also have the ability to block any damage from the blue zone, as you can see by that blue bar at the bottom of my screen. So it just provides a little bit of extra support, which is really useful. So if you ever see a level 2 backpack or a level 2 jammer pack, you may as well take the jammer pack, because it has the same amount of carry capacity, but it gives you some additional support and protection. Not from any bullets, but from the blue zone, and depending on what time you get into the blue zone, if you're in the blue zone in kind of the final stages of the game, it means you can stay in the blue zone and hunt people from quite afar, and that can be pretty useful. Although I'm yet to successfully execute that as a strategy, but it really can be very good. But here we go, the blue zone arrives, and Smeggin crashes into a wall straight away, which is an excellent start. But because we're in the blue zone, you can see the bar down the bottom for the jammer pack is starting to take some damage, and we hit into another car. But it's okay. The main thing is we're still alive. And actually, we end up taking this car as well. And so we drive we drive in 2 cars, because none of our cars really have much gas. Only a third or a half, and that's not really ideal. We tend to like to have cars that have maybe 2/3 fuel, and actually there's a third one here. So we end up going as a trifecta of we go as a trifecta of cars and go as a 3-man convoy, which is quite fun, although it's perhaps not the most subtle of Yeah, it's not the most subtle way of doing things for sure. Oh, I've gone free cam. I need to need to get back. Okay, there we go. So we're team 3. I'm trying to work out if I can do the scrolling between different. Oh, there we go. That way I can scroll between the different people. Because pretty soon here we'll have our first engagement. As you can see, team 27 down the bottom there. I'm a little bit behind just because I believe I was just checking something. But if I switch over to Cyberjedi, he ends up crashing into Smeggin. And they have a bit of an argy-bargy there. Not intentionally, I think, initially, but then they do carry on a bit. And you can hear me with my blowing my horn to my frustration. And we end up pushing on to Team 27 here. And I believe Cyberjedi here takes a bit of a tumble. In fact, there's a person right there in the car. Cyberjedi takes a tumble. And Smeggin gets out to deal with this chap here. And takes him out. The other person is in the compound. But we pull back because we don't know how many are in the compound to fight. So we pull back up the hill to give ourselves the high ground advantage. We assume there's someone else in the compound. And we get ourselves ready to engage. In fact, we see someone just there. Just by the building. Again, with the replays, it's a nice benefit to be able to see where people are, but you don't have that when you're just fighting normally. So I go back to myself now, and I see him there in the corner, so I start shooting where I can, but I don't have much success, because he's got the building right ahead of him. So I decide to push forward, while the other guys stay somewhat higher up, although they are now pushing with me. I throw a frag, not really with the hopes of hitting anything, but with the hopes of just causing him to move along. And there he is right there. I switch to my AR and take him out. And so that's a first kill for me, which is excellent, although someone throws a frag in, so I have to get out of there pretty quickly. We're not sure if there's anyone else around, but just in case, we decide not to hang around too long, but we do loot what we can from the corpse. I think I just take some medication, some ammo, and so forth. But because the blue's here, thankfully Cyberjedi brings a car. Not one of the fully fueled ones, but it doesn't really matter. We just need to head towards the zone at this point. As you can see, there's a lot of teams actually conglomerating in this area. You've got Team 5, Team 12, Team 1, 2, and 23. So I've got to be a little bit careful, because there's a lot of people around. Not that we particularly know that, but you know, we kind of assume there are some others around in the area. We stop here. I think we actually decide to run in on foot. We see a bike up there by the tree and think it's another person, but it's not. But we decide to run in on foot anyway, and we hear those shots over that way. And we're trying a strategy of being a bit more aggressive with our fight, you know, heading towards fights if needed. But also, you know, the shots are very close, so we have to kind of see where they are and make sure we know where they are. Otherwise, we're never going to have much luck. So we push over the hill and can't initially see anyone, but we know they're there somewhere. I think we do see Karalek 666 over in the corner. There are people pretty close, but I don't see anyone, and my friends are pushed up to the tower on the hill, so I just come up and join them, just to give myself more of a high ground advantage. And pretty soon here we really end up engaging. I see, I think Smeg calls out Karalek over there in the corner. So Cyberjedi gets the knock there. And this is a slightly embarrassing moment where 3 of us are shooting him to try and kill him, and we all miss. But it's strange how it takes more shots from a gun to actually not kill someone who is knocked on the ground in comparison to when you actually fight them properly. So we take out one of them, but we assume there's still some other people nearby, the rest of his teammates, Team 2 there. We assume they're nearby, and we've got a decent hill here, so we decide to stay in the area in order to do so. We end up engaging a Wagwan and Shoes over there. And one of them goes down already, which is excellent. And Wagwan, I believe, will end up pushing us. And we take him out. Because the blues on our side are not theirs, it's pretty useful, and we've got this hill advantage, which is pretty excellent. I don't take much part in the initial engagement, but Wagwan then pulls to the tree here. I throw a frag on the right-hand side of the tree there. Again, if it hits him, great, but it draws him out of cover, and I get the kill that way instead, which is excellent. We go for a loot because I believe Cyber Jedi is pretty low on ammo. Or for his sniper rifle. He's okay for his automatic rifle, his assault rifle. But for his other gun, I believe he's having real issues with his ammo, and so I think Smeg actually pushes into the blue here because he's got an adrenaline syringe. So pushes into the blue to go to the other person that we killed in that engagement to see if he has the relevant ammo that Cyber Jedi needs, and he does, which is excellent because we'll need Cyber Jedi's ammo and, more importantly, his guns later on in the engagement. We hear more shots over to our right-hand side, presumably Team 6 over there, so we get ourselves moving. In fact, I'm actually saying, guys, I can see someone, Team 6 here. I'm saying I want to engage, but they're telling me to wait. But given the good shots I have, I decide to engage anyway, as the other guys are not far away now. I get some good shots off, and I think the team in the car there help, but I managed to finish off. But there's also one chap there, and I throw a grenade, but because I don't know if there's anyone else with him, I don't know if it's just one person or two. But just in case, I throw the grenade to, again, hopefully draw out some people. But we push forward, whereas Smeggin goes as our kind of sniper man in the trees. He stays separate, which is actually very useful because we need him to do so. And we start taking some shots from the people in the compound over there with Team 5 in it. Again, a couple of people alive. So actually it's a 3-man. We're fundamentally doing a little bit better than a 4-man, even though this is a 4-man squad game. Get some pretty lackluster shots here from myself without much success, but that's okay. I know he's there somewhere in the hills, but I can't see exactly where. Interestingly, now that you have the marker there, you can actually see him. I know he's somewhere in those trees, I just don't know, or behind those bushes, I just don't know where exactly. And that person goes down there, which is excellent. I then start to push forward. Cyber Jedi is still warning me of that guy behind the bushes, but I don't have any visual of him due to the nature of the bushes being the way. I don't see him. Thankfully, Cyber Jedi does. Smeggin's still staying in our sniper's nest, so to speak. So Cyber Jedi throws a grenade out, and then pushes forward with me, I believe, in order to deal with this guy, because I don't have sight line behind the trees, but he sees the person there, switches over to his AR, and gets the kill, thankfully. So that's Team 5 dealt with, and at this point, Smeggin comes in from his sniper's nest, as I believe we decide to reconglomerate as inside the zone in that compound that we're in. And pretty soon here we'll engage a pretty nasty team of 4 who arrive in some vehicles. And I think it's Team 12 here that arrive momentarily. and it does prove to be a very, very... Oh, not Team 12. This is another engagement we have. So we have a lot of engagements here at this compound. Again, taking a couple of shots at these two guys. They're kind of slightly spread out as a team. And again, some of these shots are abysmal, but we do actually end up getting some kills and some knocks here. And given they're both knocked, we know there's another teammate nearby. Kung Fu Kenny there. But here come the team of 4. Now this is a tough engagement. There's this teammate here. There's 4 of them in this car, and initially they just try to draw fire with their car. We're all trying to stay behind trees and behind some form of cover, so we can't be run over. But we deduce that they're going to pull up behind that big rock there. And they do, so we get to start engaging, although I don't unfortunately have any grenades at this point. So we're all behind this wall, and thankfully Kung Fu Kenny from Team 12 doesn't come and decide to join us. I get a shot there and get Durup down, but given there's 3 of them there, it's hard because we can't really seem to... There's always going to be someone to res them. I get myself healed up with a medkit because I took a bad knock in that engagement. And I get myself ready to go again. I get a couple of hits off there, get him knocked, but they've got to do it back up. At this point, I'm concerned that we're never going to manage to move forward unless we make sure they stay on the ground. So I knock that person down again, and that ends up being me out of the engagement. But I mentioned to my friends that there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them knocked at the very moment, and the camera's gone away exactly the worst time. But Cyber Jedi goes down, and Smeggin moves forward with his favourite gun, the M249, which has endless ammo, and takes the kill. So at this point, I'm dead, as is normal. But having got 5 kills to my name, I'm not too upset about it. But it's interesting that in both the wins that I've shown you, I end up being one of the first to die, but I pushed for a good cause. Because had we not taken them out there and then when 2 of them were on the ground, they would have been able to continuously revive. And with a team of 4 against a team of 2 now that I was dead, we were never going to manage. So we had to keep pushing in that regard. And at this point, we're only 3 alive, and it's just actually Kung Fu Kenny and ourselves. So Team 12 makes another reappearance, coming into the zone there, and Smeggin also pushes on the hill. Surprisingly, doesn't see Kung Fu Kenny there, but will do momentarily. And Cyberjedi is, I think, just looting up, and then pushes forward to support Smeggin while they look for the last soldier, the last player. And we see him there on the road. Smeggin actually takes a very large amount of damage there, but thankfully manages to survive and heals himself up, which of course is very important. We need the health. At this point, Cyberjedi also comes to lend a hand and takes a couple of shots there, but then the blue kind of gets to him. So Smeggin pushes here with a couple of shots and gets the win. So that between us is 15 kills. So that's pretty much 15% of the entire map. Smeggin with 4 kills, me with 5, and Cyber Jedi with 6, and plenty of knocks shared between us as well. And I just wanted to show that game because I thought we did really well as a team. We were good at communication. Sadly, you can't see it because it's not recorded live. I'm going to try to do some recorded live games of PUBG as well because I've still really been enjoying it. I enjoy having a proper tactical shooter, and it's really nice having proper teammates to play with that I actually get on well with, and we understand each other and we suit each other's playstyle. We don't all have the exact same strategies or strengths, but that's what makes up a good team. Everyone has slightly different things that they prefer, guns they prefer, strategies they prefer. And we just work really well as a team. And we're only a team of 3 here. We do have a couple of friends to play as well, including Azuluso, who you saw last time. But we're kind of the 3 that play a lot at the moment. So we need to try to find ourselves some more players that we can squad up with, because we're at an inherent disadvantage going with one player down. You can see Team 28 there's only going with 2. But in principle, we're 1 soldier down, so it's always good to try and get another player. But thank you so much for watching, and there might be some more PUBG to come soon indeed, but I think it will be, I'll try to do it live as opposed to kind of recorded after the fact, because then you get to see some of our kind of communications go forward. I think that would be quite fun to see. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.